Welcome back to the Fantasy Forge podcast, sponsored by Molson Canadian Lager. I'm up here on vacation, close to the border, in a cabin. As you can see, my hair's a little bit messed up. The humidity's gotten to me, but really just excited to run a mid-pick mock draft with the boys here tonight. Corey's been out shopping, and he's had football on his mind all day, Corey. Isn't that right?
Yeah, if you're a Bath & Body Works fan, your girlfriend probably drags you there. Check out the football season candle. Smells pretty good and obviously has a pretty cool logo on it. So, yeah, check it out. I'm sure, like I said, you'll be dragged over there. But I'm a big fan. They have some fall scents out right now. Please sponsor us.
Can we get the scent notes, please? What are we tasting?
Yeah,
smelling?
I need a moment. Warm flannel and notes of fresh fallen leaves and autumn air. So what more?
Awesome.
What more could you want in football season?
I'd like to get some leather, a little bit of pig skin in there. Maybe I could burn
that.
some leather on the side of the candle or something to really get myself correct, ready to go. But as soon as Scott Hansen graces my television, I'll be fully amassed in many ways. Joe, what's going on with you, brother?
Not much, man. You know, I might have to go get some fall candles myself. I'm more of a Christmas candle guy. I like the like Christmas tree candles that smell like like a Christmas tree. But yeah, I like those candles a lot. I just hate that they're like $20 for a candle.
Dude, they're on sale right now,
Gotta hit the
$13.
sales.
And then you use it and it's like done after like 4 hours and then you're just cashed. So
Dude,
Yeah.
do the candles dry y'all's eyes out if they've been running for like hours?
No, they mess with my nose though. I think Joe is a fellow allergy victim can attest to that. But
Yeah.
no, not my eyes.
My eyes will like dry out if one's been going for too long next to me.
It's weird.
I feel it in my body. Joe, I'm gonna have to cop me one of them FFCA ads, brother.
yeah, man. I love this hat. I'm trying to take good care of it.
Yeah,
But,
once Brew gets hired by the Arkansas Razorbacks this year, the
Yeah.
FFCA will cease to exist. So,
Get on the field and have him sign it.
what would you do to meet John Gruden? Like, what's the worst thing you would do?
Mm,
Would you commit a crime to meet John Gruden?
yeah.
Like shoplift?
Yeah.
Like no
Yeah, I'd
question.
shoplift.
Shoplift. But
Shout
you
out
get
John Gruden, man.
You get caught.
Oh, I get caught?
You
Where
get
am I
caught,
at? Like a
you go to
Walmart
jail.
or something?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I don't know. That's so bad. Like, if you have a day job, that's so bad, dude. If your company finds out you're a thief,
Yeah, but you walk out of the Walmart after getting the charge, and Gruden's just like, "Hey, hop in my car."
yeah, probably not. I might jaywalk or something, you know. I might, play trumpet in my front yard really loud and get a disorderly conduct charge or something. But yeah, probably not stealing, man.
Okay, all right, good to know. So you don't love him as much as we thought you did, but
I guess not, man. But I do
That's
love
okay.
John Gruden.
if
He's
you
the
told me I
goat.
could meet Drake May. Like if I could spend the day with Drake May,
Yeah.
I might shove like some bags of lettuce down my pants at Kroger.
Is that what they steal at Kroger? That's like the worst item to steal from Kroger, dude.
Like $1.
It's just the one I picked, man. I don't know.
They're like, sir, you got to give up the lettuce.
I do feel like John Gruden would like talk your way out of the situation though, you know. Like I feel like you could hop in his car and then the police would come and he would just like shoot the shit with them for 30 minutes and you wouldn't get a charge anymore.
You'd just be like X stick looky 65X tricycle, and then
He'd do like a 40-yard dash race with the cops or something.
They just switched to cover two. They just switched to cover two. Silva said, "Ah."
Oh, dude, that's the best. Silva. Is that a-
That's Joe's favorite pre-snap. We'll miss Derek Carr dearly. Top 10 pre-snap quarterback.
Rest
out
in
there
peace,
working at a
man.
car dealership now?
Yeah, that's
Somewhere,
okay.
I'm sure.
He's a good man, Derek. You love the man, you hate the sin. What can you say? That being said, we are all here to do a mock draft to help you guys as you think about the players you're going to select and some of the curveballs you're going to get thrown throughout your fantasy football draft. we wanted to get together and focus on a middle pick. So I believe the boys and I will be drafting from pick number 5 on a sleeper draft. We're going to let the auto draft sim some curveballs, but if we feel like it's too outlandish, we may override that pick. But really, we just wanted to talk about our guys that we're focused on, especially in a redraft setting, PPR, and then also maybe disagree a little bit as we get probably into the later rounds when we've got some people we potentially want to snipe before they go off the board, knowing that it's going to be a little bit before we pick. So just wanted to open up here, boys, like before we hit the start button, who are we looking to snag realistically at number 5? We're projected to get CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, I think that's a pretty safe pick. If you're tasked with Bijan versus Lamb, what are you guys going to do?
It really just depends. Like I was telling Corey this earlier, but the problem with drafting at kind of the latter half of your draft, which I think you're probably fine there at 5, but from maybe 5 on, it's kind of difficult to go ahead and say like I want to take a running back here, because what you're seeing right now in mock drafts is you have this S tier elite like wide receivers like CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. You've got those guys, and then after we get finished with the first round, kind of there at the 1-2 turn, there's no more of those elite tier wide receivers. I think like the next best guy is Drake London, and I don't really think anyone out there, maybe some people, want to have Drake London as their wide receiver 1. So I see a lot of people that are just going like wide receiver early on because it's like that's the only time really in the first 11 picks you can get that elite tier of like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, level wide receiver that's, reliable. So I'd be kind of hard pressed. I think probably would go with Bijan. I feel like that's probably the consensus pick, but I could see the argument for maybe grabbing a wide receiver instead.
Can you hit the wide receiver button there, Corey, just so we're looking at the top 6 receivers?
Yeah, so sorry.
Who's right after Neighbors?
Neighbors is Nico. So you've got Amon-Ra, and again, like sleepers rankings are a little different than ESPN's, which I know a lot of people draft on and some others. But you've got Puka. You've got Amon-Ra above Puka, which isn't ESPN's.
Yeah, there's more people there than I guess anticipated before London, but I get your point, Joe, for sure, where it's like,
yeah,
especially in would I rather have 2 wide receivers or 2 running backs that are good? I think almost all of us would say 2 wide receiver, especially in a PPR league. Sorry, I'm going to ask you to hit the running back button too.
You're fine.
I just want to see so out of this, what is that, 10? Realistically, how many of them catch passes? 5? 4? Jacobs doesn't. Taylor doesn't really. So you got McCaffrey, A-Chain, I'll give you a Bucky, Gibbs.
I feel like the 2 that don't are really Derrick Henry, Jonty. I'm assuming will.
Jonty will for sure.
I'm assuming Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. Like I know Jacobs catches it a little bit, but you can group him in with the non-pass catching. But Derrick Henry does not catch passes, but obviously he hasn't needed to.
Man, they're projecting McCaffrey for 500 yards receiving.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to play a lot of games to get there, man.
Yeah. And to answer your question, in my opinion, I'm a little bit – I'll go back to the general list here to talk about this, but I'm a little bit lower on Gibbs maybe than most people are. Joe and I were talking earlier. I just am worried about this O-line on the Lions, losing 2 bona fide O-linemen out of the 5 starters there. And then on top of that, losing their offensive coordinator to the Bears, Ben Johnson. It's just – even with Amon-Ra, in our redraft, I'm picking at 8. It's just – I don't know what that offense is going to look like with those changes. And realistically, it's probably going to be in the top half of the league, but it's a little bit concerning. So I don't know. I'm lower on Gibbs. I think maybe I'll opt for the wide receiver option, and Joe's point kind of lends credit to that, I think, with what you're looking at later on. And we'll get to the 3rd and 4th round later, but it's just a little bit scary. That Lions offense, I think I'm concerned, and with Jameson Williams' involvement too. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I always like to look at the stats they're projecting in order to get to the final point projection. Like Derrick Henry to average 14.8, they're calling him at 1,500 yards, dude, and 13.
Yeah.
That scares me for sure. Like,
Yeah.
when was the last? What did Saquon have last year? 1,500, something like that. And it was like unheard of. You'd have to click on Barkley, but to see his last year.
Yeah, he had.
Last year.
My bad. Sorry, it's not giving me a total.
No, scroll down. You had it. 2,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
But that is like unheard of.
Yeah.
5.8 yards to carry. Yeah, I don't know. Just something to keep in mind as we work our way through. I like to look at the stats that they're baking into their projection because sometimes it's a little bit of a head scratcher. Barkley projected at 1,600 yards. That seems actually a little bit conservative, but they probably aren't going to be like, oh, yeah, he's going to average 2,000 yards every season. The highest he had before that was 1,307 or 1,312 there. So anyway, we'll see who we get to pick from here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to go ahead and kick this bad boy off.
All right. Let's start. And keep in mind, this is obviously the whole auto drafting AI thing besides our picks. So we'll talk about things when they come around to us. But if you see some wild picks, I'm sure you guys have some wild teammates in your league, maybe some idiots in there. So if some wild thing pops up, then we'll just roll with it and go from there.
If it's too outlandish, we can reforce it too.
That's fair.
Yeah, so we'll see.
All right, here we go.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
All
right.
That 1-2 combo was very interesting.
Very interesting.
Actually, Jefferson at 4 is crazy.
Yeah.
Where would you think Jefferson would go?
2
I
or
think
3.
that's yeah. I think that's I haven't really been seeing him go around the 2, 3. I see him actually go pretty late, which is crazy because I think that's like the 3, 4 is where I would value him at. I mean, this is that's a whole nother discussion, but I mean,
Yeah.
you think he would go before? You think he would go in place of Barkley?
No, but I
go
think
within the top 2.
he'd get picked before Bijan. I think people are afraid of running backs, man. Like they are.
Yeah.
Especially in our league specifically, there's a heavy wide receiver bias. Too much of one at times.
Yeah, and you've got, I think people obviously are scared of Barkley. He's got a little bit of an injury history, and they ran him so hard last year. So I don't know. 1-1 is insane. I don't think that's
Barkley over Chase is criminal, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And even Bijan, I think, because Bijan has obviously a worse team, but he's just such a workhorse. But I could see Barkley falling a little bit if people are afraid of his injury or fall off concern because they just ran him so much. But yeah, 1-1 is wild.
ESPN has Barkley going at the 4th. Sleeper has him 2nd. Yahoo has him 3rd. And then Jefferson, ESPN has him going 3rd. Sleeper has him going 3rd. Yahoo has him going 5th.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess let's talk about our pick here. Obviously, we have CD or Gibbs as the 2 top options. So this comes back to the conversation we were just having. I personally think, CD is a little bit safer. I know I had him last year in our redraft league, and he kind of made me angry, but he was hurt. Dak was hurt. Kind of a bit of a mess there. So assuming he has a healthy season, as with everyone else that we're taking, I think that Lamb is pretty safe. Obviously, he has the proof in his history of having just top 3 finishes at wide receiver, which is all you can ask for with a pick at 5 here. So my pick here is Lamb. I just think a healthy Dak, obviously a new head coach with some new play calling will be very helpful. And I'm just lower on the Lions offense in general. So where are you guys at here?
Yeah, I'll run through the key departures and additions for each player because I think we're both between Gibbs and Lamb. Lamb, you got Pickens joining the squad. Schottenheimer, I believe, actually, I guess he wasn't calling the plays. It was Fat Boy McCarthy calling the plays. But Schottenheimer's offense was the install. So pretty similar offense with a healthy Dak Prescott. 12 touchdowns for CD last 2 years ago. He only caught 6 this year. So if he can up the TD count, he'll be pretty safe. They've got him projected for 8. He had 6 last year. I am also going to lean wide receiver here. Like if you just take the names off the page and you showed me these stats, I'm going to go CD Lamb. I think it's a safer option. It's a PPR league. You got Monty Mole still in Detroit, new offensive coordinator. There's just some uncertainty there that Dallas is going to throw the ball. Like at the end of the day, they're going to try to throw the ball to win games. And Schottenheimer, I feel like, is like getting hired on a warm seat. But we'll let the Cowboys fan Joe talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Joe, go ahead here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't disagree with anything that you guys are saying. Me personally, I just know like it's just tough because you have this tier of wide receivers like I talked about, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, all these guys that are, quarterback proof for the most part. They're super reliable. They're, they've been within the top, 5, top 10 receivers for the last few years. Once you get down to the second round, these guys are all going to be gone. So as soon as you get to the 210, you might just be left with like AJ Brown, who I wouldn't even put in that S tier conversation anymore. And then it's just going to be kind of like slim pickings. You're going to have to start peppering in a lot of people that I don't think have wide receiver 1 upside. So I also would agree. I would go CD Lamb. Gibbs, I'm a little concerned about his workload. I don't know how that offense will change or how it won't change so much with them losing Ben Johnson. I'm taking CD over Amon-Ra. So if I'm looking at like everybody that's available on this board, you could make an argument for Puka maybe, but I think CD Lamb is just a lot safer of an option. So yeah, I would agree. I think unanimously everybody would probably take CD Lamb here at the 5 spot.
Let's grab him. All right, and Gibbs right after.
I'm going to lower us down here.
Oh, Amon-Ra at 7 is Nico Collins before Puka is a bad beat, dude.
Yeah, so let's digest this here.
Yeah. Oh, Jinx. McCaffrey at the 2.5.
Man, I'm not opposed to that. I'll be honest.
McCaffrey fell to me there.
That's where I value him, but that's not where the world values him.
Yeah, so I'll jump in and let's just talk about McCaffrey really quick because obviously we're not in a spot to have to consider him. Being someone that I'm picking 1-8 in our league, our 10-team redraft league with our best friends, I am not touching McCaffrey with a 10-foot pole, and I am sick of these people on Twitter that are just beating the drum for this guy because let me just remind everybody, he's got bilateral, meaning both Achilles tendonitis. And I'm going to flex my nursing knowledge a little bit here. But he's cashed over the course of a 17-18 game season. If they're running him like they've ran him for most of his career, and that's what you're banking on picking this guy in the first or second round here, I do not see a world where this guy is staying healthy for the entire year, and he's at increased risk for an Achilles rupture. So that alone, this is just a 50-50, plain and simple gamble of is this guy going to be healthy? And I do not want to take that 50-50 gamble with my first or second round pick here. So
if he's healthy, he's a league winner. 100%.
I agree, but
the second round,
he has a very big injury concerns, especially also coming off this PCL injury. So, man, I want somebody safer. Again, I'm at the 1-8, so this is actually something that I have to consider in our own draft. I know this situation is the 1-5, but man, I would rather take one of these proven wide receivers that went here in the 4 at the end of the first round listed there, or Jonty or A-Chain, or even Derrick Henry, who is getting ancient. I just do not want McCaffrey, and I'm going to defer that unless somebody else have to make that decision. And that's just my opinion. I just think he's going to get injured.
Yeah, I'll jump in here and play devil's advocate just a bit, just because it seems like everyone in here is pretty anti-CMC. As a precursor, I am as well. But if you look at CMC and you compare him to some of these elite guys that have, just notoriously been good over the last few years, like Barkley, like Derrick Henry, that Gibbs, dude, the ceiling with Christian McCaffrey, okay, he in his heyday, the last healthy season he had, I believe it was 2023, he was averaging more fantasy points. I think it was 2023 season. And I had him. He was averaging 25 fantasy points a game. all these guys, Barkley, Henry, Gibbs, in their best year, never touched that mark. So I agree. His ankles are cashed. He's probably not, I mean, who knows, but he's probably not going to repeat anything close to that 2023 season. But the ceiling for him is astronomical. It is astronomically higher than all of these running backs on the board. So it is a risk, and something that I don't like to do within the first couple of rounds of fantasy and redraft is draft people that are risks. I want to take reliable guys that I know week in and week out are going to be able to produce for me. And so with that being said, I'm not taking him anywhere in the first round. Now, if he fell to me in the second round, like even at the 210 mark, like that's just too good a value to pass up. But round one, you need to be drafting guys that are reliable and they're going to produce for you week in and week out. So,
yeah, I was just going to make a final comment here. I'm glad Corey pulled this up. I am a big trend guy, and this is probably so invalid, but he typically does follow the 2-1, 2-off formula here. And if we're looking at that, this is going to be an off. And just based off of what Corey said too, like if the injury is severe as Corey's saying, which I don't doubt, he probably needs 2 years to fully recover and to get back up to speed. He may play a couple games. Is he cleared to start week 1?
He is, and like just to elaborate with the tendonitis, like all that tendonitis is inflammation of like a ligament. So
it hurts, right?
Yeah, so like a lot of this is pushing through the pain, but like naturally his body is going to use accessory muscles around his Achilles, so foot, ankle, calf, knee, hip, hamstring, like all of those things are going to be relied on more because he has this pain and tendonitis in his Achilles. So is he like actively quote unquote injured and unable to start? No, but I just think he's a ticking time bomb to what you're getting at here.
How many games do you think he starts this year?
Dude, I think he makes it to like week 8 or 9 and then something happens. And like I'm not wishing an Achilles rupture on anybody, but it's just I don't see how he doesn't have some sort of hammy hip like knee issue at the minimum. So
some sort of like favoritism thing going on.
Yeah, and again, like, you add in that PCL injury that he's coming off of, and like I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here, but there's a lot of risk. A lot of risk, but the highest upside of probably anybody in the draft. So like I can see why somebody would draft him maybe at the late first or early second round. Yeah. All right. Well, moving off of CMC, definitely a polarizing player there we needed to talk about. Is there anyone else jumping off the page that any of these teams took at the back end of the first or beginning of the second?
Yeah, Derrick Henry, like, God, man, it's so tough because year in and year out, I mean, the guy's what, 30, 31, 32 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, year in and year out, you're like, don't draft this guy. He's a dinosaur. Take a younger running back. Like, this guy's the fall off has to happen. And, you know, I say this all the time, but again, like it's a trend after your year 28 season, like there's a fall off consistently all the time. You see it there's a large history of running backs that like after they turn 28, like things start to go downhill. So he's a total freaking anomaly. Obviously Hall of Fame level running back here, but it's just so hard for me to like sit here and want to take Derrick Henry because for me, it's like nothing against Derrick Henry, but it's like, dude, it's any day. You're 31. I know his conditioning is insane. I know he spends a lot of money on his body. And I mean, he very well could go out and have another monstrous season, especially with where he's at in Baltimore. But yeah, it's like, dude, this is one guy for me personally that I'm just trying to stay away from. Like, I'm glad in our redraft that this guy doesn't typically fall to me. Because if he did, I would be very perplexed. I don't want to gamble on Derrick Henry. And it sucks to be that guy because it's like, dude, like look at the last 3 years or whatever, every single year he's so good, but it's any day now for this guy. I'm sorry to be negative, but imagine if it was this year that he finally, all those injuries caught up with him and he's not producing at that elite level like you want him to. And then you just wasted a second round pick on this guy. You don't want another ETN on your hands. So
no, I agree. And looks like we lost Keith here. I don't know if his cabin got flooded or tornado. Who knows? Should be back in just a minute. Technical difficulties for Keith there up in the New
Rest
England.
in peace. Get him back.
But yeah, no, I agree. This is a tough one too. Again, I have that 1-8, and like just looking at him on this back swing, kind of where he went beginning of the second round, it's tough because he's such a consistent producer. But at the same time, man, like I forget when his birthday. I think Joe, you and I were talking about this the other day. Like I think he'll be 32 during the season. And it's just terrifying. But again, he's kind of like LeBron in a weird way where he's just like this indestructible. I know we had some foot issues there in Tennessee for a few years that kind of limited him.
And that did screw a lot of people that did own him there, who was like, still like a little bit on the older side there at the, later portion of his career with the Titans. But yeah, when he had that foot injury, like, had him in fantasy, that screwed you. I don't remember. I don't know what week it was. Obviously, that's so fucking long ago. But
yeah,
you don't want that. You want a guy who can, shake an injury and stay healthy. And like this position in football, you're the most injury prone. Offensively, I think you're like one of the most injury prone dudes. I mean, you're, preliminary pause here, but you're getting fucking pounded. It's
big time.
You know what I mean? You're getting contact every single down.
In the hole. Pounded in the hole over and
pounded
over.
in the hole, dude. Pause, but
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
But no,
Derrick Henry. But we can move on to see who we would take, assuming that all of these guys had gone off the board. Oh, here's Keith. Let me get him back in here. Keith, my man, what happened? You good, brother?
Keith, hello.
Hey.
Regardless,
yeah. Moving on to our pick, Keith. We just recapped the McCaffrey and Derrick Henry picks there, but
yeah. Hey, I'll go ahead. If I'm looking at this list, let me jump right in since I had time to think about it while I was staring at a black screen there. Hot take, maybe not hot take. I would pick Bucky Irving here. I think AJ Brown and Drake London, I can get similar value later. Bowers, I'd rather stream a tight end. I don't love using premium picks on tight ends. It almost never seems to work out, except in like the prime Travis Kelce days. Like you're always just left like, oh, I could have gotten way more points out of a different player. You know what I'm saying? So I would take Irving here. He's not going to get pressed for too many more touches out of Rachaad White. He's going to get the goal line touches. The Bucs will likely continue to be good. AJ Brown, a lot of mouths to feed in Philly. We saw the regression once McCaffrey came on board. London, I just frankly don't believe in general. Like, I just don't know what's going to happen there, especially with like Michael Penix / Kirk Cousins. Like Penix is the guy for sure, but he's not somebody who I think it can carry a receiver to elite production just yet. Maybe I eat my words on that one, but if I'm looking at this list here, given that we already have CeeDee Lamb on the roster, I'm taking Bucky Irving.
Yeah, and do you guys see what I'm saying here with the whole, like, this can happen if you take a running back in the first, like, look who is left. Like, imagine if you took a running back in the first round. Look who is left for your starting wide receiver one. Now, a lot of these guys are great, but I'm saying, like, I'm not putting them in that elite, you know what I mean? Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua. Like, that tier of elite wide receivers is now not available to you anymore. Whereas if you took CeeDee Lamb or whatever, you can come back in the second round and take a guy like Bucky Irving, who easily has running back one upside. I mean, I think he'll finish within the top 10. I mean, if you saw him last year, he's explosive. And I am a Tampa truther, so there's a little bit of bias there, but I agree with that.
Yeah, and just to look here, obviously going into his second season, but yeah, I think if we're going running back here, which isn't a bad idea considering what Joe was saying and us having CD already, just to cover Brock Bowers really quick, I think he's going to be amazing. I don't blame somebody for taking him somewhere in the second round. I'm not someone that wants to spend this pick on a premier tight end. I'd rather go with a stud running back or wide receiver. So just to talk about a few here, AJ Brown, I do think he has a little bit of a bounce back year. I think that the Eagles kind of pivot a little bit to take a bit of a load off pause of Mr. Barkley. So I think that obviously people kind of were scared off by him having a weird year last year. I remember him going like at the end of the first, early second, back where like Neighbors went in this draft. But obviously, I don't know. AJ Brown's such a weird one. Like you have to bank on them throwing the ball more, and you would think that they will just to not use Saquon as much. But no, I like the Bucky pick. I think Drake London is very touchdown dependent. And obviously, there's a new quarterback in town in Atlanta that we're not 100% sure what that's going to look like. So I'll go ahead and pencil us in for Bucky if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah, and I could also see, just to, the other side of the coin, I could also see an argument for Josh Jacobs there. I know we're not all big Green Bay guys, but I think he's going to be an absolute – I know that he's going to be an absolute workhorse guy. So I don't know. Like, I just know that he's – pretty much, it's going to be that offense is going to be funneled through Josh Jacobs a lot. Bucky Irving, I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know what the usage is going to look like. They might pepper in some like Rachaad White here or there, especially in the red zone. I don't know. Hopefully not. I don't know what you guys think. Agree with the Drake London take. AJ Brown, I'd be a little worried about and I own him in Dynasty, so I feel like I can say this. But the Eagles aren't really a pass happy offense, so. I would much rather have guys like Lad McConkey or I don't know, some of the other wide receivers that are going around here. Even like Drake London than AJ Brown personally. But I do agree. The next
to be knocking on the door for the Green Bay Packers.
All right, I'm taking Bucky here.
But yeah, Bucky.
Dude, I'm a Marshawn Lloyd truther. I had to say his name, man. Yeah. There goes Bowers, London. Good. We don't have to worry about any of these guys.
McBride too.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be taking a tight end in the first 3 rounds unless you want to target somebody like Brittle Kittle.
And I do think
the order here. Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
No, you're good. I just was gonna pop in with. I think Tyreek is another polarizing person. Really, the only polarizing person I think that went off the board that we haven't talked about yet. It's such a weird, I had him on my championship winning team 2 years ago in our redraft league, just like a historic wide receiver scoring season. Last year plays with a wrist. I think it was a wrist injury that he had surgery on all year. And then obviously Tua being a piece of shit like he normally is as far as the injuries go. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on Tyreek. I do think he has a bounce back year in the ESPN mocks. I have been able to snag him as like my wide receiver 2 or sometimes even a flex, which is obviously a little bit bold to take a bunch of wide receivers that early. But yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on Tyreek Hill?
Do not draft list for me. Part of that is just my blind Dolphins hate. I hate Mike McDaniel. I hate Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his name is. He's not good. And you add in the personality issues off the field with Reek. There's no reason why he was wide receiver 18 last year. Literally none. There was a ton of wide receiver injuries. He played all 17 games, and they just sucked. Miami is not a good football team. I do not draft list for me. I just don't see it.
I agree. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but actually in training camp today, I don't know if you guys saw this report, but they had to take Tua and Waddle off of the field for quote unquote scoring too many touchdowns. So
I did see that tweet. Yeah. I didn't know if that was
not that it means a lot, but it's just indicative of the personality problems that we have here with Tyreek. He's literally, on record for saying, I'm done. He's been on streams with that little nerd Neon kid where they ask him about it, and he's like, wants a trade. He doesn't like McDaniels. He's on record for saying he doesn't. Blames him for not giving him the ball, which, okay. But yeah, no, I think he's an elite talent, but I don't like him on the Dolphins. He's also getting really old, and he's also, squirting out babies in every chick that he sees. I think he's got other priorities. He's dwindling.
All right, that's fair. Are we taking a quarterback here that's staring us in the face, or do we want to go doubling up on a pretty good RB2 or wide receiver 2? What are y'all feeling?
I'm gonna let Joe take this one first. He can be the lead here.
Okay. Well, for me personally, there are so many good values at wide receiver later on in the draft, like even the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds, you can get great wide receiver 2 value. So for me, the way that I'd be doing this draft if I was pick 5, or really just any pick here, is just trying to secure the one or the elite at each position. And then once I have everything that I have all those pieces in place, and I start building around them. So with that being said, I'd probably take Josh Allen here. I've never been in I've never had a year in redraft where I took a quarterback early and it didn't end up working out to my favor. It's something that I do. But let's say you went here and you took JSN or you took Chase Brown or something like that. There's so many other values later on that you can get that, you're going to just miss out on a lot. And I think it can hurt you later on. But I like to just build out my team that way. You get the elite position, and at each position you get the elite guy, and then you start building around. But I love the wide receiver values later on. So it's like, and there's some good running back values later on as well. So I'd probably go grab Lamar or Josh Allen here.
Keith?
What do you think?
Yeah, and this is no BS. I had 2 players in mind here. One of them is Josh. The second one's JSN. And if you've listened to some of our prior podcasts, I think we've beat the We Love JSN horse to death. With Josh, I don't want to say like the time is running thin for him in Buffalo, because it's not. Obviously, he's on a huge extension. But this year feels like it's okay, we really need to win the AFC Championship, or else McDermott's probably going to get fired. Like it feels like a prove-it year. Maybe not for Josh, but like for this organization that's around him. I think they're going to throw the piss out of the ball. It's also the last year of Highmark Stadium. The Bills fans are going to be riled up. Not that means anything for Josh's fantasy production, but I like to think that it does. Now, on JSN, you have really a choice to make here. Or do you want the set it and forget it quarterback? And in recent years, honestly, I've drafted quarterbacks higher than I ever have before. I used to stream quarterbacks, and it really seemed like a non-issue. But the quarterback production drop-off has seemed more pronounced than ever. Like, you can't just go pick up somebody like Cooper Rush and get a 30-point game out of them. It just doesn't happen anymore. So if you have somebody like Allen and you're like, hey, I'm good to go, I think that's the direction we take. Now, if you don't want the set and forget a quarterback, I think JSN's the pick here for a myriad of reasons that we've already covered. Go listen to our first couple episodes where we talked about JSN. But I think that the Seahawks take a step forward this year, and he's definitely the feature in this offense now that DK is out of town. So between the two, I'm leaning Allen because I like to set it and forget it quarterback. If we didn't do that, I would go JSN.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you here. I think after doing a couple mocks, and then obviously, again, we're using Sleeper, who has some different ADP than maybe ESPN that a lot of people use. I think just taking one of these premier quarterbacks, and again, like Josh Allen or Lamar, I don't think you can go wrong with. Both have the rushing upside. But if you look here at the top quarterbacks, I think most of the time you have these 4 grouped in: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, and Jalen Hurts. They're all dual threat. They're all going to probably, realistically, barring injury, finish top 5. And it's just so much easier to have a set and forget quarterback. Although I think Joe may chime in here, Mr. Baker Mayfield lover. There is some value, I think, at the end of this where the ADPs are as of this recording, with some of the quarterbacks being available down there. Maybe like Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield. Even somebody could argue Dak Prescott, although I think Joe may feel otherwise. So I'm with you guys. I'm taking Josh Allen. I think JSN is enough of a question mark, which is why he's being pushed down here to the 3rd round and isn't up here with people like Malik Neighbors and, even Brian Thomas Jr. So I don't know. I'm down for Josh Allen if you guys are. So
yeah,
I think it's a good call. And while you're grabbing him, I'll just talk a little bit about that. So Baker Mayfield, it looks like his average ADP is 82.1. So he's really kind of going around there in the 8th round. ESPN has him in the early 9th. Sleeper has him in the late 6th, and Yahoo has him in the 7th. So he's kind of all over the board. But I think if you take somebody like Baker or even Brock Purdy, I know that will be maybe a point of contention. I know you guys don't like him, but if you take somebody who's like safe that is probably going to finish top 10, like and then you can just stack up with JSN or just stack up and just be absolutely just a brute at wide receiver or be a brute at running back. I think there's nothing wrong with that either. But when you have guys like, Josh Allen, who's not only going to throw the piss out of the ball, like Keith said, he's going to also run the ball a lot. He's going to get rushing touchdowns, and he has all that upside. I think you can stencil him in there and feel pretty confident. Definitely a set it and forget it.
Yeah, and to that point, I think a lot of people will debate Allen versus Lamar. Strictly from a divisional standpoint alone, I would much rather have the quarterback in the AFC East than the AFC North, dude. The AFC North is going to be an absolute bloodbath, as it is every year.
And again, you want to be drafting guys that are on teams that are projected to score a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of data to back this as well. Like, Buffalo is projected to be a top 3 scoring offense this year. Same with the Chiefs, sadly. So be on the lookout for stuff like that. Like, if you get a quarterback on a relatively shitty team, I don't care how good the quarterback is, like, you're more than likely not going to have a great quarterback at that position. So, like, getting a guy like Josh Allen in an offense that is going to score a lot, or Lamar Jackson who's going to score a lot, it's great. So.
Who we have available at our 4.6 here?
Do we want to recap what happened after our pick here? Just really quick. I think a lot of people are high on Chase Brown. T. Higgins going next is a little questionable, in my opinion. I'm sure you guys will agree over JSN. And then, I don't have a lot of objections here. I know. Is Garrett Wilson a contentious one? Are you guys feeling passionate about him?
So a little bit of a reach for me.
That's fair.
If I'm at that pick and I don't have a quarterback, I think I take Daniels over Wilson.
Sure. Yeah, that is kind of a weird move.
McLaurin, dude, is McLaurin going to play the first 2 games of the season? Like, that's at the time of this recording, he is still in a big dispute with the Commanders. So,
yeah. I think, and James Cook, for that matter, is also in he's doing the weird, holding in thing, which I think is more promising than the holdouts or whatever. So,
he's falling a lot, isn't he? James Cook
he had a good year last year. Take a look really quick. Running back 8, running back 12 in 2023. So
wow, he's really fallen a lot.
Could be a value grab if you believe they're going to work it out. But
yeah, buy the dip. Maybe if you're a James Cook believer. But prior to this, he was going in the second. He's going in the second on ESPN. Sleeper has him going late third. Yahoo has him going early third. So he's falling quite a bit.
Yeah, other than that, I don't see much to talk about. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. is a bit of a wild card that this person decided to gamble on, but
Brown over Byron is I would flip those 2 players also. That's just my personal opinion.
Just to preface this, that Sleeper is, obviously this isn't a real draft. It's just auto pick, but they do use ADP.
All right, let's look at our options here. So,
this one's easy.
We've got Breece Hall, the notorious Mike Evans that Joe is going to get a little bit of a boner for here off camera.
I'm not taking Mike Evans here.
A few problem childs, in my opinion. I think just to expand this and cover up the draft a little bit. I don't know, Rashee Rice here, looming suspension, but coming off that injury and obviously super productive. And then Devontae, who is just Mr. Reliable, but also aging. How old is he now? 32. Jeez, man. So, what do y'all think?
Offense, I believe. Corey, why don't you take lead on this one since you haven't kicked it off yet?
Yeah, I think, gun to my head, I'm going to pick Breece Hall here. I think this is a big value, obviously coming off of a rough year as the running back 2 for our team. I'm personally a bigger fan of the wide receiver depth later in the draft. I'm also not a Mike Evans fan, and especially because he is also, 32, 31? I just got burned by him a few years ago, so I'm a little bit biased. But considering our strategy is potentially waiting on tight end here, I am going Breece Hall just to lock up that RB2 before kind of that cliff comes along. That's a drop off in the running back value. So I just think we can get another wide receiver maybe in the middle of the 5th round to round out our starting lineup there. But how do you guys feel about Hall versus Evans or Rice or Adams?
Brees Hall, no brainer here, no question.
I disagree. I disagree with the Brees Hall thing. First of
Let's
all,
hear it.
I have to say this: he's a Jet. I don't want anything to do with any Jets. Just they're not projected to be good this year. I'm sure. I know the news came out about Fields he had some sort of injury where he got carted off today. Hopefully that's nothing serious. But assuming that Justin Fields is like still in and we've got a healthy offense, I'm a little bit concerned about Braylon Allen in this mix. I think he is bigger. I think he's more of a bruiser. And, kind of towards the end of the year, they started to use him in a lot of third down situations. I could see them using him in a lot of red zone situations this year. Little bit concerned about that. And honestly, I just don't want any Jets. They're not projected to score a lot. And with Justin Fields, I mean, he loves to run the ball a lot. So I don't know, man. I don't know if you're going to be getting as much Brees Hall usage as you might think. And I think Braylon Allen is going to have a mixed role in this offense. Looking here, he ranks second in red zone attempts. So he could primarily serve as a red zone player, and that would piss you off. You don't want to see Brees Hall, running a lot and then getting robbed of touchdowns. Whereas if you look at a guy like Mike Evans, he's a binky. I'm not saying I would take Mike Evans here, but I'm just making an argument for him. He's, again, as Keith once said, he is Baker's binky. I mean, for the last 10 years, he's had 1,000-yard seasons every single year, and he's going to continue to do so, especially with Godwin. I don't know if Godwin is geared up to return week 1 yet or not.
No.
But even with that being said, I mean, he's the GOAT, he's a Hall of Famer. He's trusted by Baker Mayfield. He's going to continue to do well, assuming that he's healthy here. And I think at the end of everything, he's going to have more fantasy points, more touchdowns than Brees Hall.
Yeah, and just to add on the Brees Hall thing, Keith, before you chime in, their new coach, whose name is escaping me at this very moment for some reason. Yes, Aaron Glenn, thank you. Has said he does want this to be a committee, and I know this is just a lot of coach speak at this point in the year, but it is a little bit concerning in his favor. Kind of devil's advocate to that, looking at Justin Jefferson's dump off rate. I saw a tweet about this earlier that I cannot find for the life of me right now, but it has gone up.
Fields?
Yeah, Fields. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Justin Fields.
Okay.
His check down rate has been just going sky high. Obviously, he's not the best quarterback out there. So I don't know. I think Brees Hall is very interesting. Obviously, running back 2, running back 16 the last 2 years. Keith, what are you thinking?
My argument for Hall here is we've taken a pretty safe approach to the draft so far. I think you could roll a little bit of the dice here. I think Brees could bounce back to elite form if he's used appropriately. At a minimum, I was going to bring up the check down conversation. I think Fields will check down. If Fields goes down and you're with Tyrod, he most definitely will be checking down a lot. And so you're just going to get a PPR machine at a minimum with Hall. If you watched any Jets games last year, I think part of the reason everybody's like, ooh, Brees doesn't look so good is because Aaron Rodgers and the entire offense didn't look very good. And so with the new regime in town, I'm encouraged. I think Braylon will push him for goal line touches, but that really isn't Brees's game anyway. A lot of his touchdowns were long, explosive, 20, 30, 40-yard rips. And then obviously the PPR production on the dump off.
I gotta step in here. He had the perfect opportunity to be a PPR monster with Rodgers. What the hell happened? He was terrible.
Aaron Rodgers is kind of a fucking idiot.
He was horrible.
Why
wasn't he getting checkdowns last year? I'll ask you guys.
I just think Aaron Rodgers is. I think Devontae came to town, and Aaron Rodgers just got the biggest boner you've ever seen for his fucking butt buddy.
Agree with that. Actually, he's probably the right answer. That was
and then Brees Hall got hurt about the same time that Devontae was coming on. So I think it was like the perfect storm of. And again, like if you look at this, Brees Hall finished RB16. So not to beat a dead horse, we can. Sounds like we're picking Brees here, but Joe has
and also if he's going in this is the 4th round, correct? That's a good value.
Yeah, I don't know who else you'd take here besides Kamara. Like everybody else, I hate.
Yeah, we can look at the running back list.
Well, I mean, you can make an argument for George Kittle.
I would not. An old decrepit fart, and I'd rather get a younger tight end who's going to
gets the ball a lot. He was great last year. What did he finish last year? He was like tight end 5 or some shit.
We can look at Mr. Brittle Kittle here.
He was number
He is
one.
Brittle Kittle. I understand he's years old, but I mean, again, dude, like he
I
gets the
know.
ball. He
Mr.
finishes
Burrow.
a tight end 1,100
I
yards
don't-
last year. So
I don't.
I understand a lot
anything
of fucking 49ers were hurt. I'm just saying. I could see somebody making an argument for taking Kittle in the 4th and having like a premium.
No, I don't
But-
think you're an idiot if you take him. I'm just personally, I'll think twice about it. But yeah, I think only things to look at here, in my opinion, is maybe Hubbard and Hampton. I think this kind of is where that cliff is like we're teetering on that running back cliff here of just a massive drop off in quality. Obviously, Najee Harris has that eye injury. I don't know what the hell he did with the fireworks. He was standing on the sideline today in a hoodie with sunglasses on, very ominously. So I don't know. I like Hampton a lot. The college production is there. I think, Jim Harbaugh is just raving about this guy's capability as an athlete and a 3 to 4 down running back. And then Hubbard, I don't know. I'm inclined personally to put Hubbard in this weird, like, I hate the guy. I think he had a fluke like off year last year as being a stud. But yeah, I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on the two running backs here?
Hubbard over Hampton, I think, is criminal and could be prosecuted. I don't know why you would do that. Yes, he was RB13, but I don't know, man. The Panthers were such an enigma last year. I don't. Who did they bring in? Dowdle.
Yeah, I think
Sanders
Dowdle.
left, right? Oh yeah, it's right there on the screen. My bad.
You have him now.
I just don't. I don't think he's an RB13 again this year. There was a lot of just randomness going on over there.
Perfect storm.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And then looking at Hampton, I mean, obviously coming out of college, but there's just a lot of camp talk, man. And it's camp talk season, but man, this guy could be a league winner. I think if you snag this guy as your RB2 right here, I just think it could be nasty. So let's look at who we have.
Remind me who the Charger running back was last year that was like going super late.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah,
Current, Bronco.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if J.K. Dobbins could, if that offense could elevate him, I could see it as well.
Yeah. Well, we've got our two running backs. We've got a quarterback. I think we're going to go wide receiver. I'm assuming, unless y'all want to look at the tight ends.
So these are the players available.
They are, and it looks like Laporta and
this list,
Hawkinson.
honestly.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And who do we have? Who do we draft after Allen? Remind me.
we have CeeDee Lamb, Bucky, Josh Allen, Brees Hall.
Brees.
We're due for a receiver here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting choices. I think Rashee Rice, obviously looming suspension of like 1 to 4 games, like very vague. Let's see if there's an update here. I don't know. This guy obviously was popping off last year before he messed up his knee because of dumbass Mahomes running the ball along the sideline like a little bitch. And then you have Devontae, who's just Mr. Reliable here, finishing 11-10, 3-2-1. And again, he's 32 on the Rams. The Rams throw the ball a lot. Stafford's getting older. Joe's worried about his elbow every time he throws the ball. And then I don't know, man. I think we're all going to be on the same page with DJ Moore.
Go ahead and close that one out.
Yeah, we're just going to not consider that guy.
He doesn't have a quarterback. Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I'll pull this up here.
Who's past Laporta?
Mm-hmm.
Is a quite curious one here.
I
got three. I'll just throw out 3 names that I'd be comfortable taking here, and then maybe you guys narrow it down for me, because honestly, I hate the list here. The 3 people I wouldn't puke in my mouth drafting would be Adams, Zay Flowers, and Laporta.
Okay.
I wouldn't be stoked to draft Zay Flowers here.
Okay.
Let's look at Flowers. He had a weird 2024. I guess it's better than
Ravens to focus on getting the receiver the ball more.
I like the Adams pick. As long as our team is relatively young and healthy, I don't mind taking an old man every once in a while.
Yeah, so he hasn't missed a full season since 2020. Actually, no, he only played. Did he sign late with the Jets though? He wasn't.
Yeah,
hurt.
That's what I was saying earlier. He got traded or cut and signed with the Jets like week
Like right before
5
the
or
deadline, wasn't it?
yeah. Look, it was weird. Like, yeah, I think it was like right here. It was like right after the bye. He joined the Jets. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that.
Like you can't even really look at that because, like you said, it was just a pure Rodgers suck off fest where they were just butt buddies and like
I
it was
know.
ridiculous, dude. It was
When was
every.
the last time
freaking
he was
snap.
on a non-Aaron Rodgers team? Sorry, don't close out.
It was the Raiders last year. I'm pretty sure because 2023 he was.
Yeah, man, he was still elite with DC in Vegas, man.
Joe Mixon. Joe, did you dig up any material on his injury? Let me look. Actually, foot. They've elaborated. Okay, so he's just on the non-football list. So he can come back at any time.
Oh,
That is something.
I got a notification on Sleeper. He was on the fucking. He might be out for a while.
He can be activated at any point during camp. Yeah, so I don't know. That doesn't make me feel great, to be honest. 29.
Man,
Their O-line is still pretty
him.
cheap.
I was so low on him, and he had a decent season.
He did. James Conner, I feel like same boat, old, but just so consistent. Travion Henderson, Keith. Let's get your thoughts, man.
I'm going to be very biased here, like extremely. I think he's going to be good. I think it's going to be Tampa Bay 2.0, where it's like we're still giving Ramondre touches, but everybody knows we should be giving this guy more touches, and he's going to catch the ball a lot, and he's going to be amazing. I don't think he's going to be a fantasy breaker by any means. I think next year's the year where you take him, but that is just my opinion. On
Joe, you got any thoughts on this guy?
No, I don't really have much. I mean, I would take him here. I don't have like a ton of fucking. I mean, he's just just a rookie.
You're going to take Travion?
Like here? No, I thought we were just talking about Travion in general. Who would I take right here? This is the 6th round.
He's taking Jameson or TJ here.
Can you scroll down a little bit?
You bet. I feel like we got to talk about Worthy, man. It's a bit of an interesting one.
Well, we're all just gonna we're all gonna dunk on him, and then
I know
there's not like much to say there. We're gonna say that Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw the deep ball. There's deep ball, blah blah blah. We have a whole video on Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, we do.
And,
are we taking
him being pretty good? Are we doing what?
Are we taking a flex or a tight end? I guess that's the question.
Can I see the tight end list?
I say at this point, if you're not drafting what we would consider a premium tight end, which a ton of them besides Brock Bowers, that you should take a tight end later on, and I think all three of us would agree.
Yeah,
taking a tight end right now doesn't make any sense.
After TJ, but I do look at freaking Kincaid there at way down there.
Yeah, exactly. Take a tight end around there in the 11th.
All right, then I would take Jameson Williams.
Let me take a look. And at this point in the draft, like I don't think there's a problem with maybe reaching a little bit if you see somebody that you think has more upside.
I agree.
Like Joe's going to tell us that we should take Tet McMillan.
I'm not gonna say that. I like Tet though. T-Mac. He actually doesn't like to be called Tet, apparently.
Oh, really?
Keith would take Travis Hunter though.
You should have a normal name then.
No, wouldn't. Keith's taking JMO all day.
Yeah, Keith is a big JMO.
Don't want anything to do with Monty Mole. Shout out Monty Mole. Love him. Obviously, I can see why people would make a massive argument to have Xavier Worthy in the flex. He was like everyone's favorite flex last year. Can we scroll down a little bit here?
Yeah, you bet.
God, who's below Judkins? Oh my God. Okay. I've seen enough.
Go ahead and go Baker.
Oh man. We've got our quarterback. Sorry, who do we have at running back right now? We only have drafted 2 running backs.
Yeah. We've got basically we're looking at like, do we want to fill our flex with what I assume y'all prefer as a wide receiver here, or do we just see a massive value on the board that we want to grab?
I'm telling you, I think there are still some like I see the Jameson Williams argument, but I still think there's going to be some values later on, like Khalil Shakir or something like late there in the 7th or 8th that you can go easily get as a flex option. But
Who are you going
I'd
to
probably
draft instead then?
I'd probably try to get a little more running back depth. I'd probably go RJ Harvey.
Yeah, I don't hate.
But it just depends on what. I'm not saying you have to start him as your flex, but knowing how thin this league is at running back, I'd be trying to get some guys that still have running back upside, because after the seventh, after this round, there's just no running backs left that have any upside. It's just a wasteland.
That's
RJ
fair.
Harvey in our flex makes me throw up.
I'm not saying put him in the flex. I'm saying just, get some more running back depth. And then
So I
later
think-
on, you get value wide receivers like Khalil Shakir or somebody like that you can slot in at your flex. I'm totally fine with that. And then you have a Josh Jacobs, Khalil Shakir stack, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Just
so
saying, think outside the box. It doesn't mean he doesn't, just because we're drafting him here, doesn't mean he has to go in the flex. I'm just saying,
I'm thinking outside the box. I'm saying I'd rather have Jameson Williams than an unproven rookie quarterback on a Sean Payton offense.
There's plenty of wide receivers besides Jameson Williams after this round that we can go take and put in our flex.
I'm going to be the odd man out on this one, but you guys can.
You must love Jameson Williams, bro.
he does. He's got a boner.
Very weird.
I just don't like taking a rookie running back here.
I do think, I think this one's tough. I think we're crossing Xavier Worthy off. I just think that's very, with Rashee Rice coming back, I don't know what to expect from that guy. I think he's kind of like that weird Devontae Smith conversation where he's like really skinny. It scares me. So yeah, if we're not taking a tight end, I don't know. Monty Mole, respectfully, love you, buddy. I just don't know about that offense. I already talked about that. Joe, I'm not completely opposed to your strategy. I just am worried about J.K. Dobbins coming to town, man, and taking that guy right here.
Pull up the RB list when he's talking about this.
Yeah,
for sure. So, for sure falls off a bit.
Aaron Jones?
Is Aaron Jones
maybe.
still available?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, shit.
Well, Joe, what do you think about Pickens being a Cowboys fan? I think he's getting a lot of hype right now.
I think he is too. I know you're shaking your head, Keith. Me and Keith are just.
It's the handshake thing that I'm laughing about.
What handshake?
He posted a new handshake he created with CD for when either of them touchdown.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, they're cashed.
He's just a bit of a hothead for me. I like him. I think he could have a great year, like with CD pulling all the double coverage and stuff potentially.
I think the last time Dak Prescott had two really good wide receivers, I know that there has been instances in our past where we had Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper both going for over 1,000 yards under Dak Prescott. So who knows? I would hope that Dak Prescott would only continue to get better, which he can't even say that he even really improves every year. I guess. Not a big fan of Dak, to be honest, as a Cowboys fan, but it is possible. Like, that could be a good flex option too. I might go Pickens here. I think it's possible. If Michael Gallup can get 1,000 yards with Dak playing alongside Amari Cooper, who's basically our old wide receiver one, I think it's possible. I think he could be a good option.
All right. Well, let's take some running back depth here and then see how the draft falls to us for our flex.
I actually like Aaron Jones more than RJ Harvey.
So we don't want to do Harvey?
What would you guys do here? Because we're a little, all over
I
the
would
place.
take Jameson Williams or Pickens or McMillan for the flex.
Let's take Jameson Williams.
Okay.
We're outvoted here. Let's take Jameson Williams.
Let's see if we
Which
can
I don't
get
think is a
Harvey.
bad pick either. I'm just saying.
Harvey's
you
here
can
at
get
the
values
turn.
later.
No discussion. All right, let it rip.
All right, we're taking Harvey.
Yeah.
Anything to talk about real quick here? I think we covered most of them a second ago. Olave is puke
Olave.
in my fucking puke all over the floor and the wall.
McMillan. Why? That makes no sense.
That person's. I don't know. All right,
We
we're
have
just gonna
a
take.
video on him up on YouTube. You guys can go check out on Chris Olave.
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
RJ Harvey, we'll snag him here, and then
We might be able to go Harvey Jones, low key. Fingers crossed.
that'd be pretty sweet.
Bonix. There goes Jones. All right.
All right, we got to talk about some of these here.
Kelsey's off the board.
Yeah. So, Starting, I guess, maybe with Godwin here.
God, this list sucks.
I know.
It's so bad.
Godwin, obviously, probably not going to be ready for the season coming back from that ankle dislocation. Bo Nix, I like Bo Nix as a value here, especially in this realm. Like Patrick Mahomes, I would rather have Bo Nix over Patrick Mahomes for fantasy.
Did
and then,
Titans put somebody else in with Ridley? They did, didn't they?
For wide receiver?
Yeah.
No, it is just a bunch of rookies and our boy Burks.
No, they brought in Lockett.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I considered him early. Isn't he like 35?
No, he's 32.
Oh, same
Guys, do we want to briefly kind of fill everybody in on why we're out on Patrick Mahomes before people watch this and they're like, what the fuck? Why do these guys, they don't like Patrick Mahomes? They want nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to give a brief synopsis of why we feel that way?
Keith?
I'll be very brief, and if anybody wants to add on, most stats across the board he regressed in. The biggest one we're honed in on is his deep ball conversion. He threw less deep balls last year than any other season that he's been in the league. He decreased in efficiency. His yards per route run for his receivers decreased. He checked down a lot, and his arm just looks like shit. That's kind of the quick and dirty summary on Mahomes.
I don't have much to add. Yeah,
I don't either. That's perfect.
The deep ball is concerning, and like I don't see him running more to compensate for his lack of deep ball production. Now the receiving room there is a question mark. Like they could all be elite again, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, this is the revenge tour." We'll eat our words if that's the case, but we're not super high on Mahomes, and there's a reason why he's going in the 7th round for ADP. We're clearly not the only ones who think that. So,
yep, sums it up for me. Otherwise, I don't see a lot to talk about. Travis Hunter, I just think this is criminal to go that high. But I'm of the mindset that he plays a lot more corner as the season progresses than wide receiver. So, do y'all feel differently, or?
He's hard to value. I think somebody made a comment in an interview. Was it Ryan Clark or like one of these retired cornerbacks? They were like, "Oh, they're going to run him like they're just going to run deep balls on him over and over, so he wears out and he has to come out of the game so he can continue to play receiver." I don't think he's going to be played that much on defense to where it affects his offensive production, in my opinion. But I don't know. I
just don't think he's polished enough. Like, I was reading a lot about this earlier because every single Reddit thread I feel like I hop on about BTJ or the Jags offense. They're like, well, what about Travis Hunter's targets taken away from BTJ? It's like, dude, this guy didn't even have, like, from what I was reading today, set plays that Colorado ran for him. Like, I think they just threw him in there and, like, it speaks to his talent level, but they were just like, oh, yeah, like, don't worry about what the total play, like just run the specific route. And then he like happened to be open. So I could eat my words here and this guy could be a massive value, which I think is what people are drafting him here for. But like, I just think he's being drafted at his ceiling, man. I would be not thrilled to have Travis Hunter as my flex. I just think it's gross.
Man, I wish Judy was still on the board for us here. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm probably not taking him. The classic person that we all know who drafts rookies and gets lucky with them will probably get lucky with Hunter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, we need a tight end still. We got a dinosaur
down there
in the face.
Again, I'm telling you. So we're at the 7. Man,
that list still
I think a lot of people are
good.
sleeping on your boy Dalton Kincaid.
And Ingram's in that list. There's some good people left.
Can you pull up the tight ends that are available?
Yeah, you bet.
So Travis Kelce, I want nothing to fucking do with. Mark Andrews, I'm still not. I think I'm not drafting any of these tight ends up here. I'm going to continue to wait for a few rounds before I take a. Yeah, you can make an argument for Mark Andrews, but yeah, I mean he is Lamar Jackson's favorite red zone target, has been for years. So I could see an argument being made, but personally, I'm not taking a tight end here. I'm going to continue to stack up on other skill positions, but
I'm with you.
I don't know what are you guys thinking here?
I'm with you on the stacking. It's just a matter of who we want and do we like. I know Caleb Johnson is sitting there, a darling of a lot of people. As far as another rookie, we already have RJ Harvey. We've taken there. So, Keith, who do you like here? Are we stacking or are you taking a tight end?
Khalil Shakir.
Yes, let's fucking go.
All right.
That's exactly
Like
what
I
I was
said,
going to say.
That's
Go
all I
reach
needed to
down
hear.
there and get Khalil Shakir, baby.
I didn't want to be, too forward with it, but
I like the tight end list inspired me. I think if we go Kincaid, we'll be a little bit Bills heavy, but they're supposed to be good.
hey,
Get
yep.
the Josh Allen stack.
There goes Diggs. Fuck.
Yeah, it's all right with me. All right. Are we still waiting on a tight end? Do we want to talk about anybody that was just taken?
List again.
Yeah, I need to see the tight end.
No comments on the list. Romo Dunze, terrible pick over Stephon Diggs.
I think for tight end, I'd be targeting Njoku or Ingram.
Sure.
You can
What round are we
shade
in here? We're in the 9th.
Yeah, those first 3 tight ends I could give
Yeah.
2 shits about. And then, Njoku, Ingram, then you have Kincaid below that. And then you also have Kraft and Ferguson, who aren't that bad. And then you have the dice roll on Pitts. So,
Zach Ertz down there too. Kidding.
dude, Hunter Henry, what was can you click on Hunter Henry, dude? People forget
You're not going to want to see what he did last year. I'll just tell you that, bro.
Tight end 16. It's not that bad.
I think your favoritism's showing there.
Tight end 12.
I think I'd rather kill myself.
Big.
Dude,
Big though.
you could stream hit easy. I love Brenton Strange too, by the way, in Jacksonville, but that's beside the point.
I
He
agree.
is an interesting one.
You could easily in redraft stream tight ends.
So we've got 4 wide receivers. We've got 3 running backs. Considering we're gonna wait still, do you guys like?
Can you just click flex or ooh.
Yeah, it's not gonna do away with the tight ends here, but yeah. So Debo, I think we can all say nope. Jacoby, I think Joe and I are a little torn on. I think Jacoby.
I would
I like him.
grab Jacoby here, to be honest with you guys.
Jacoby, do you want
It's
Jennings?
Jacoby or Jennings.
Can you hit all? Sorry,
No, you're okay.
I can get a bigger picture.
Jacoby's just
All the
so
way up.
steady, dude. So steady.
Yeah, and they have Geno now. I think he takes a big step forward. So
All right.
I like his new quarterback.
Myers was wide receiver 19.
All right, we're grabbing Myers,
Now he's got Geno. So
I
something to
like
consider.
I like the talent stacking. It's easier
All
to
right,
make
just
the trade.
real quick,
Where are we with how many running backs? How many wide receivers do we have?
Oh, we
We've
got to go
got-
tight end. The tight end run has started.
We've got
Yeah.
5 wide receivers, 3 running backs.
If you click instead of Q, click roster, my brother. It's gonna help us out a little bit more.
Well, our
And
camera. I didn't know
go.
if our cameras would cover it. Yeah.
No, I moved it over to the left. We're good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's what we're working with here. Decent bench, no tight end still. Do we want to take Njoku? Who are you
Definitely
guys
need to
feeling?
take a tight end here. The tight ends.
Is
are
Warren?
Warren.
He's a rookie.
I don't trust
Why
their
don't I know
shit ass
nothing about
QBs.
him?
He's just.
Don't want anyone in.
Where did he go to school? Was he Notre Dame? Penn State.
Penn State?
Yeah. He looks just unathletic. Respectfully, Tyler
Looks like
Warren.
Colston, and Colston
does.
does not look good.
6'5".
So we doing Njoku? Or
I'm going
Kincaid?
Njoku here.
I'm
We could
cool.
run an Njoku Kincaid stack or a
Yeah.
Njoku Pitt stack. Like Njoku safe, and then take the risk play for the tight end too.
All right, we'll do Njoku and see what happens here.
Oh, there goes Ayuk at the 10 point. Ooh, Golden.
Jeez. Ayuk is going early in this.
He is. Okay. Anything to talk about Justin Herbert? I would rather kill myself. But that
Wait,
is
hit all real quick. Sorry.
oh, sorry. I just got really distracted seeing him go right next to us.
Dude, I would like to make a comment. So you had the entire San Francisco wide receiver room go in a span of 10 picks, basically.
and
James Ayuk and then Pearsall.
and Green Bay, like their top 2 dogs.
That exactly why you should have nothing to do with either of those teams.
I agree.
And
So I guess we can talk about Josh Downs. People really high on across the board. I know Keith obviously featured him in one of our conversations earlier. And then Javonte, I think, is a massive, intriguing guy. I don't know. I like Javonte. I think maybe go ahead.
Can you show me our bench again? Sorry, I can't see the bottom of the bench. Dude, I love Javonte here, actually.
I'm not opposed.
yeah, I think he's a steal here.
All right. Let's take Javonte. Josh Downs, though, also a pretty good option.
Pains me to pass on him, but we just went 2 wide receivers.
Yeah,
so.
that QB room is just brutal.
And I think if Zach Charbonnet falls to us, I think that would be the next pick here.
I'm not
I
opposed.
thought maybe you might make it around.
Somebody stole Sharbs.
Let's go Caleb Williams here.
What a shit.
All right, pulling this up. So end of the bench here. Are we doubling up on tight end? I used to do this a lot in redraft, and I just have gotten away from it. But I don't think
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely
no.
I think you go waivers for if we doubled up, it's got to be for Kincaid or for Pitts. That's the only reason I would do it.
I agree, and I think just going flex because we're not looking at quarterbacks. I think we're getting into maybe like handcuff territory here with Tyjae Spears sitting there, J.K.
Rashad White,
Dobbins.
dude. Rashad White, we own Bucky.
We do have Bucky. I don't know these rookie wide receivers. I guess Keon Coleman isn't a rookie anymore. I don't know.
I'm not interested in Keon Coleman. If you had him last year, he really burned you. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not saying
What do you guys
he's a
think
good
about
receiver.
Spears, guys?
I like Spears. I think he's a little bit sneaky.
I'm very confused with this backfield. I don't know what's really going on in Tennessee. I assume the starter is
Pollard.
Tony Pollard. So
I just think
I
Tyjae
don't-
got a decent amount of work. I mean, finishing
Exactly.
34 and 42 as the backup isn't too bad.
did Pollard miss any time last year?
He did a couple weeks, and then obviously on the Cowboys, he got hurt with that tightrope ankle injury.
A little injury prone. Yeah, Tajay's not a bad pick.
Dude, how do we feel about
Guys.
JK? We do have RJ Harvey, so are we
What's
considering?
can you pull up JK's profile?
Dude, he exploded his shit again, didn't he?
No. Questionable starter.
What happened to him last year? He got hurt again.
He just had some sort of like weird, like lighter knee injury that knocked him out at the end of the year. But running back 24. Sean Payton likes his running backs.
I like the
No.
handcuff with Rashad White.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Keith?
That's a huge piece in our offense.
I would go out of the list. I would go Spears, White, Dobbins, or Higgins, and just knowing that we roster Bucky. God forbid something happens to Bucky, but if Rashad White becomes the guy again, you're sitting
Yeah.
pretty.
And he had a, running back 4 finish a few years ago. I'm cool with that. Let's go Rashad White. I think he gets shit on a little too much,
And that pains me to take him, by the way. It pains me.
Yeah. All right. Getting towards the end here.
You were a White owner last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Early, too. I had to take him. I had 0 running back help last year.
All right.
I remember that.
Last
Are
pick,
we-
right? Pretty much. Yeah.
Basically of skill position. So Trey Harris, I think, is interesting now that Mike, whatever his name is, Williams, retired. Yeah. He's getting a lot of camp buzz. Was a stud at Ole Miss. Wouldn't be a bad flyer. We love Marvin Mims. Talked about him in a video. Luther
Man,
Burden, go fuck
Blue.
yourself.
Especially with Quentin Johnson, always
Williams.
dropping fucking balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you bet.
Ooh, I see Mims there.
I know. Kyle Williams as
I was looking at
well,
him
Keith.
as well.
Intriguing.
Initial camp reports are good, but again, they're camp reports.
And then Garindo. Is that how you say his name? Garindo?
Dude,
Yeah, intriguing.
honestly, though, Jack Beck right here would be kind of interesting, too. He could be Hunter Renfrow 2.0 in Vegas.
Could be. He did start over. I was reading today at LSU. All of the LSU stud wide receivers we have in the league today at one point. So
Yeah, but he was older, wasn't he?
we won't talk about that.
I like Marvin Mims.
I do like Mims. I think we
That's
go
probably.
Harris or Mims. Who do you guys like more?
I like Mims a lot, man. We have a video on him. Go check that out on YouTube.
Yeah,
Plug
please.
it right here.
All right, let's go Mims. Any objections?
I think this draft is pretty good.
I agree. And then obviously we can fuck off for the kicker and tight end or defense.
I'm excited to see the roster in totality here once this wraps.
Just turn on auto pick or whatever. If
Drake
we're
May
at
is
that
our
point,
kicker.
we still have space.
We're just gonna pick random stuff here for the sake of
Oh,
it.
you should have taken Fairbairn, dude. The GOAT.
I know. Sorry. I do think the kicker landscape is a little interesting.
Pick Justin Tucker, dude. Really wrap us up nice.
Anyone got a preference?
I'd take McPherson here. The Bengals are going to stall out plenty.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, so it's pretty fucking nice. I mean, Josh Allen, Bucky Ball, Brees Hall, good RB2, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, pretty decent. I mean, if this was my team, I would be
Flex has got to hit.
pretty happy.
Like, I know Jameson isn't a guarantee. Like, look at the star percentage. He's the lowest in that group. He's 79%. I think everybody else is above 90. So I don't. Well, and Njoku's only at 58. That's kind of shocking. Anyway, we have people in the storage room on the bench that could potentially be the flex for this team if for some reason Jameson Williams isn't very good. But I don't feel super great about Amon-Ra this year. I can't really quantify it for any reason. I just think that they're going to spread the ball around a little bit more.
I'm with you.
Corey was literally saying that before we started recording the podcast.
Do you have a reason for it, though? Or are you
No, I mean,
mine's totally feeling.
yeah, I feel the same way. I was like trying to explain it to Joe. Like the only thing I can quantify it by is just they're losing their 2 stud O linemen to the weird retirement stuff. And then losing Ben Johnson, man. I just don't know what to expect. Like I think they're going to be a running team with their talented running back duo. And like I like Amon-Ra. I think he's a chain mover, and like I think he's a PPR guy because he gets so many passes. But he's almost like a Khalil Shakir on steroids. Like I don't know. I don't know what to expect, and it scares me picking him at the end of the first. So I don't know.
Agree.
Weird.
JMO has the long ball capability that Amon-Ra does not.
For sure.
That's
Yeah, I don't know.
Who hates the RB2 Brees Hall? I get it, but we're relying on Bucky Ball, and if Brees eats, then this team is dangerous.
I agree, and we've got the running back depth, I think, on the bench. We went kind of running back heavy there to fill in for him if he sucks. So I like the team, honestly. I mean, Devontae Adams being old scares me, but we also have the wide receiver depth to make up for him, too, if he goes down. So I like it.
Joe, any thoughts?
Yeah, overall, I really like it. I mean, we've got our elite quarterback 1. We've got, Bucky Irving, who's very promising. We've got an elite wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb, decent wide receiver 2 in Devontae Adams. I think Njoku will he did pretty well last year. I don't have his stats pulled up, but I like him again this year. And I know he was injured in some sort of weird, like, he microwaved a boiled egg or some shit and got all fucked up. But before he did that, it's so weird how some of these guys get hurt. But, prior to that, he was pretty decent. That literally happened. He microwaved a fucking boiled egg and it.
I know.
It's so dumb.
I know it is, but no, I like this team a lot. I think it's a championship caliber team.
All right.
I love it. Well, hope this was helpful for everybody. Would love to hear where you disagree with us if we picked the wrong guy. Maybe some chatter around Brees Hall, maybe some chatter around Khalil Shakir. We're not saying we're perfect, but we think this is a pretty damn good team we just drafted with the 5th pick. If you guys want to see more of these where we draft from a different position, definitely let us know in the comments. Check us out on YouTube as well as Twitter, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.